You think your anger is power, but it's not. It's the clearest sign that you've already lost control. The moment you get triggered, the moment your emotions take over, you hand your power to the person in front of you. You believe you're defending yourself. But in reality, you're exposing your weakest point. Because anger is never about them, it's about you. It comes from a part of you that was never healed, never understood, never faced. And the moment someone touches that part, you react, you explode. And in that explosion, you reveal everything. You show them exactly where you're vulnerable. You give them a map of your insecurities, and from that point on, they don't need to guess how to control you. They already know. That's why people keep provoking you. Not because they're stronger, but because you're predictable. They know which words will get a reaction, which tone will make you lose control. And every time you react, you prove them right. You step into their game. But real power begins where reaction ends. And this is where most people fail, because your ego won't stay quiet. It screams inside you. Say something. Respond. Prove yourself. But that voice is the trap. Because the one who cannot control himself can never control any situation. Now think about this. If someone walked up to you and said, "You're a terrible astronaut," you wouldn't feel anything. You might laugh, because there's no connection, no insecurity. But if someone calls you a failure, and you instantly feel anger rising, that's not because they're right. It's because that word touched something inside you. Anger doesn't react to lies, it reacts to fears you already carry. That's why the real solution isn't to silence the world, it's to understand yourself. Every time you get triggered, don't look at them. Look at yourself. Ask one question. Why did that affect me? And in that moment, you take your power back. Now here's the darker truth. You are not always in control of yourself. The version of you that is calm, logical, and composed, that's not your full identity. There's another side, hidden, suppressed, ignored. The part of you that is insecure, aggressive, emotional, unstable. And when you get triggered, that part takes over. That's why people who appear the most calm sometimes explode the hardest, because they've been suppressing everything. And suppression is not control, it's delay. So the solution is not to hide your flaws, it's to accept them, to understand that you are not perfect, that you have weaknesses, that you have darkness, because the moment you accept that, no one can use it against you. If you already own your flaws, no insult can shake you. Now let's go deeper. Most people react instantly because there is no space between what happens and how they respond. Someone insults them, and within a second, they fire back. That's not power, that's programming. But here's the truth. Every emotional reaction has a lifespan. Around 90 seconds, that's it. If you can survive those 90 seconds without reacting, you win. So next time you feel triggered, don't respond, don't speak, just pause, observe what's happening inside you. Feel the heat, feel the tension, but don't act on it. And as those seconds pass, something shifts. The emotion fades and clarity returns. Now you're no longer reacting, you're choosing. And that's where real control begins. Now understand the person who is trying to provoke you. You think they're powerful, but they're not. They're unstable. They're carrying frustration, insecurity, and chaos inside them, and they're trying to dump it onto you. If you react, you take that burden. But if you stay calm, you reject it. And that's the most dangerous move you can make. Because now their energy has nowhere to go. It turns back on them, and they start collapsing under their own emotion. You didn't fight them. You let them defeat themselves. That is dominance. And this is why the most powerful people are always calm. Not because they don't feel, but because they understand. They know that reacting is losing, and control is everything. So the goal is simple. Don't be a puddle, be an ocean. A puddle reacts to every drop. Every disturbance creates chaos. But an ocean absorbs everything without losing its depth. And when you reach that level, people notice. They feel it. They realize they can't control you. They can't provoke you. They can't read you. And that's when the dynamic shifts. The manipulator avoids you. The bully looks away, because predators look for reactions, and you give them none. So the next time someone tries to trigger you, pause. Don't respond immediately. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy, or is this just my ego speaking? Because ego reacts fast, but control moves in silence. And the moment you master that silence, no one can control you again. You don't just win arguments, you control the entire game. And now you've reached the level where most people stop. Because this is where it gets uncomfortable. You understand that anger is a trap. You understand how to control your reactions. But now comes the real challenge: consistency. Anyone can stay calm once. Anyone can control themselves in a single moment. But to maintain that control in every situation, with every person under pressure, that's mastery. Because the world will keep testing you. People will do what they've always done: provoke you, challenge you, try to pull a reaction out of you. The only difference now is that you are aware, but awareness alone is not enough. Because even after understanding everything, you will slip, you will react. And when that happens, a second trap appears. You start attacking yourself. I knew better. Why did I react? And now you're not just fighting the world, you're fighting yourself. That's where most people lose again. So understand this. Mastery is not perfection. Mastery is recovery. Even if you lose control for a moment, don't punish yourself. Don't stay stuck in guilt. Return to awareness as quickly as possible. Because the longer you stay in that emotional loop, the deeper the pattern gets. Now let's go deeper. Your environment. If you are constantly surrounded by negative, reactive, toxic people, maintaining control becomes exponentially harder. That's why the next level of discipline is filtering your environment. Not every conversation deserves your presence. Not every debate deserves your energy. Not every person deserves access to you. Ignoring is not weakness, it's self-respect. Your energy is limited, and if you waste it everywhere, you'll have nothing left when it actually matters. Now here's an advanced concept: emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you feel without attaching. Someone says something to you. You hear it, you process it, but you don't let it settle inside you. It comes and it goes, like air passing through a room. And this is what makes you unshakable. Now imagine this. Someone tries to insult you, and you remain completely calm. No tension, no reaction, just awareness. In that exact moment, the power flips, because they expected a reaction, and they got silence. And silence is the most uncomfortable response you can give. They begin to doubt themselves. They start explaining, they start pulling back. And you did nothing, and still won. That is dominance. Now the final truth: control is not a skill, it's an identity. As long as you are trying to stay calm, you are still unstable. But when calmness becomes who you are, you don't need effort. You don't need to think. You don't need to fight yourself. You simply remain composed, and that's what separates you from everyone else. Because now you're not reacting to situations. You're operating from your own standard. And at that level, people may not understand you, but they will respect you. So from this point forward, Stop reacting to everything. Stop answering everyone. Stop losing yourself in situations that don't deserve you. Because the moment you make control your identity, no one can disturb you again. And that is real freedom. And now understand the real problem. Anger is not just a reaction. It's an addiction. Your mind has become dependent on that emotional spike. Every time you react, it gives you a temporary sense of control, a false feeling of power, like you stood up for yourself. But in reality, all you did was feed your ego. And this is the cycle you're trapped in. Someone triggers you, you react. You feel a short burst of relief, and then comes the regret. You tell yourself, I shouldn't have done that. But the next time, you repeat the same pattern. Why? Because you never addressed the root cause. You keep trying to control your reaction, but you never understand what's driving it. That's the real problem. You're trying to control the world while being unable to control yourself. You want respect, but you're still a slave to your emotions. And as long as this pattern continues, anyone who understands your triggers can manipulate you easily. Now here's the solution, and it's not easy, but it's powerful. Step 1. Awareness. The next time you feel triggered, don't react immediately. Pause. Observe what's happening inside you. Notice your heart rate, your breathing, your thoughts. Don't focus on what you're going to say. Focus on what's happening within you. This alone begins to break the automatic reaction. Step 2. Label the emotion. Say it in your mind. This is anger. This is frustration. This is ego. The moment you label it, you create distance from it. You are no longer the emotion. You are observing it. Step 3. Delay. Give yourself time. Even 10 seconds can change everything. But if you can, push it to 90 seconds. Let the emotional surge pass. This is where you build control. Step 4. Reframe the situation. Ask yourself, is this person actually powerful or just trying to provoke me? Does this situation deserve my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Step 5. Choose your response. Now you decide, not your emotions. Maybe you stay silent, maybe you respond calmly, maybe you walk away. But whatever you do, it's a choice, not a reaction. And that is the difference between weak and powerful. Now here's the deeper layer. Long-term transformation. If the same things keep triggering you again and again, it means there's something unresolved inside you. You have to face it. You have to understand why those words affect you, what fear they're touching, what insecurity they're exposing. Because once you understand the root, the trigger loses its power. And this is the ultimate level, where the outside world can't control your internal state. And remember, control doesn't mean you stop feeling. Control means you decide what to feel and when to respond. And the moment you master this, you don't just control your emotions, you start controlling your entire life. And now you stand at a point where there is no going back, because now you see it clearly. Your greatest enemy was never the world. It was you, your anger, your ego, your constant need to react. That was controlling your life. But now the game has changed. Now you don't react, you observe. You don't try to prove yourself, you understand. And that shift alone separates you from the majority, because the world is still stuck in the same loop. People talking, arguing, justifying, draining their energy, trying to be heard by minds that were never listening. And you've stepped outside of that noise. You see it now, you understand it, and most importantly, you choose where your energy goes. That awareness is what makes you dangerous. But there's one final illusion you must break. You think control means You will never feel anger again. That's not true. You will feel it. Emotions will still rise. The difference is, they will no longer control you. You will observe them, understand them, and let them pass, like wind moving through an open space. And that is mastery. To feel everything, but react to nothing. Now imagine this, the same people, the same situations, the same provocations, but you are different. They try to trigger you, and you remain calm. They expect a reaction, and you give them silence. They get louder, and you stay grounded. And in that moment, the power shifts completely. Because you are no longer playing their game, you are operating in your own reality. And in your reality, no one has the power to disturb you unless you give it to them. And the moment you understand that, a different kind of confidence appears. Not loud, not aggressive, but undeniable. A presence that doesn't need validation because it already knows its worth. People may not understand you anymore. They may say you've changed, that you've become cold, distant, different. But the truth is, you've become clear. You've taken your energy back. And that is where your life truly begins to change. Because now, you don't lose yourself in every situation. You return to yourself every single time. And that is freedom. But remember, this knowledge means nothing without practice. This is not something you hear once and master. It's built moment by moment, choice by choice, day by day. And if you commit to it, there will come a point where no person, no situation, no insult can shake you. And that is ultimate power. So now the choice is yours. Will you go back to your old patterns, or will you build this new identity? Both paths are open, but they lead to completely different lives. If you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to step into that next level, then subscribe to Silence Authority, not for motivation, but for transformation. Drop a comment below. What part of this video hit you the hardest? Share this with someone who is still trapped in reaction, because the more you evolve, the more your environment will change. And remember this, you are not here to be understood. You are here to take control. You are not here to prove yourself. You are here to evolve. Stay silent, stay aware, stay in control.